Let's talk about the justice system in the best country in the world. Okay, now the question I'm asking you is this. Who is the person you most love in the world? Is it your mother? Is it your father? Is it your spouse? Is it your child? Now imagine that person coming before you. You're the judge. The prosecutor says that your most loved person, name that person. Remember, you've got to think that person in your mind. That your most loved person should go to prison for many, many years. You're the judge. Could you do it? Would you send the person you most love to prisons, which we all know are horrible, for many, many years? Or are you thinking to yourself, well, if my loved one, if my mother committed the crime of murder or whatever it might be, there must be a reason for it. I bet you're thinking that. There are some people who don't. There are some people who don't and say, well, I'd send my mum to prison. We think they're pretty odd people. We think they're slightly bizarre, quite frankly. So if you're thinking about why there's a reason that your mother did what she did, then you're thinking the same way I think, which is there does tend to be a reason. And if we were to treat the people in our judicial system the same way that we treat people we care about, then our judicial system would be much better. So let's get away from this notion that somehow there are really good judicial systems and really bad judicial systems. Honestly, they all do some pretty perfidious things. And I'm not saying that we're going to be in a position where we treat everyone like we'd like to treat our mothers. No, we won't. But actually, if you look at your religious texts, that's what they tell you should do. So we just need to keep that in mind when we're thinking about our own system, and we need to keep that in mind when we're thinking about how do we want to treat our neighbor? How do we want to treat the people around us? Do we want to treat them the way that society says we should treat them? We should condemn them and send them to prison for years? Or do we want to think of how we would treat someone we really care for?